Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is
Anent. About or concerning. And there's been days where I've had to talk about how I pull up the word after I hit record and have to find the definition. Today I actually hit record and then ran across the room to grab my phone to pull up the words. So sorry if I'm out of breath. I just booked it across the room. But today's word about or anent is about or concerning, which is as vague as humanly possible. And I worried about this because there's been a couple days this week where I think that I've failed to hit my marks and I've failed to connect with the word, but I'm doing it anyway and going through with the process regardless, because that's how this whole exercise is going to work. But with anent, about or concerning, I hit one note and ran with it for the entire entry in my diary. So I'm going to read it out, and I'm excited about this one. Okay, here we go. Anent, about or concerning. What is a game about or concerning? And that's where I started. And I wrote, well, it's the theme. So I dove right into this. I want to see a legacy style game. And this may have been done in some nature at some point. I just haven't seen it. But that doesn't, whether it has or not, doesn't make me any less excited about it. I want to see a legacy style game where, with legacy style games, a lot of times you see like stickers that will cover rules and add something to the game. But instead of it allowing you to customize the rules, or maybe on top of allowing you to customize the rules, it allows you to customize the theme in many different ways. Ways that change the setting, the tone, and the feel for the game, allowing every owner of the game to have their own unique copy. And let's picture a game that has a map, characters, and items, for example. The goal of the game is to get the most points, but how? Maybe you extract resources from farms on a map. But maybe you put a sticker on the map that wasn't farms, so the map's blank. Instead of putting a farm there, you put a graveyard. So now your resources are very different. Your character could be Space Marines excavating a graveyard looking for, and then here's where I was trying to figure out what the item cards could be, looking for pieces of a map, for example. So when you open this box, you have different characters, and you'll have like 6 sets of themes for those characters. I had Space Marines, modern day city dwellers, pirates, animals, farmers, and zombies, to throw out 6 different ones. So then you get their matching locations, and these will be, stuck on the map, where you have the alien planet, a city, the sea, a zoo, farms, or a graveyard. And then the resources, there'd be like minerals, weapons. I couldn't figure out for city, people in the city. Resumes, who knows. Food for the animals. Different kind of food with the farmers. And zombies would just be people. So then you can make your game from there. You might make the Space Marine game where, it's an alien planet. The Space Marines are, searching for, minerals. You can make the zoo planet, or the zoo game. If you're, like you want something that's real family oriented, you can have the animals that are in the zoo and the food that they're looking for. However you want. But what I said was, of course you're going to mix it up. Like, you're going to throw like a zombie into your zoo game just to see what happens. And I don't think it should just be the sticker with a zombie on it. I think that things should behave differently, and that's where it gets into mechanics a little bit too. But I thought that either you show it in the marketing, where it's like, oh, we've got this like zombie game with these, pirates floating around and big zoo animals or whatever. Or the setting is just very different than the characters, where you have the modern day city dwellers, but they're all at the sea. So, of course, you're going to mix it up, and either it's going to show it straight, where it shows just a couple different themes, like I'm picturing a cover of a box, and it shows a couple different themes independent of each other. So you see the pirate theme, and next to that you see the city people, and next to that you see the zoo, and it shows the variety, or you see it mixed in. But if you don't show it mixed in, there's this really interesting, like almost like a fake emergent gameplay where, like, you don't tell people that it can combine, but of course the first thing they're going to do is mix it up. You leave it to and I wrote in quotes, that they would accidentally discover that, although it's your intent the entire time. So there's really two ways to go about that, and that's strictly a marketing thing, and I'm terrible at marketing, but so what I wasn't picturing was, like, as a legacy game where you unlock things as you go and the game evolves. I really pictured it as just being this, you build your game and then you play that every time. But with the nature of customizable games, you sort of want to do that every time you play. Like, it's hard to do that once and have that exciting thing and stick with it. I mean, back in the day, like, you would, like, with like a role-playing game or whatever, you'd make your characters, and that's like a blast, and then you'd run with it. But I feel like there's just so many games right now. Everything moves so fast. Attention spans are just, they're different than they used to be. So I feel like you're going to want to do this every game. So there were a couple ways to do it. One was you could have multiple maps with, so eventually with enough room to use, say, 6 different maps. And then you could build 6 unique games out of there. And that's pretty cool because each one's going to play very differently from each other. They'll all be kind of a mishmash, but they're not like, they're not progressing as you go. It's just you make your game, you play through it. All right, we like that one, we'll play it again, or we're going to make a different one. The second idea was that there could be unlockables in that when you get to a certain area, you meet a new character. You have all 6 types to choose from. It can be a zombie, an animal, whatever. And you pick. The active player gets to choose to how they want to shape this game. And, we were playing that Space Marine game. We're on a planet, and boom, there's a penguin. How does that change things? From a gameplay side, there's so much there in how to design something like that. But what I wanted to create was a literal pasted on theme where thematic stickers will make the game. And I ended my diary entry with, I am designing this with the thickest underline I've done in a long time. This is right up my alley. I mean, as somebody who loves, just Risk Legacy is one of those games that I say is like a life changer for me, in that it opened up the creative side to a degree that I hadn't seen before, at least in tabletop gaming. And it sort of has a little bit of this in it anyway, because the couple factions that you have are all drastically different. And it feels like that. Just looking at the cover, it feels like the merging of themes. But it's that way from the base and from the get-go. And that's how it was designed. But to take that and go the extreme on the thematic side as opposed to the mechanical side interests me in a way of at least just seeing if it works and seeing what comes out of it. And then maybe smaller, less ambitious games emerge. So I don't know. I wrote that I'm designing this. So I guess I have to do it now. But we'll see. There's a lot of games to design. So this one sounds fun. I hope you can do something with this. It's the hardest word I've seen yet, but I found one odd connection. If you can make something out of it, please share. And I'm heading to Unpub for the weekend, so I'm going to be playing some unpublished games of my own and others. And I might see people that, have been on this show and have listened, and looking forward to that. And we're going to record another all goes well, we're going to record another designer roundtable. So we're kind of coordinating that now. So thanks for listening to another week of Design Diary. We've got some great episodes coming up, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, see ya.